welcome to the Liv Daily Show. I'm Sean Liv, and we're at the beautiful Azridge Estate Hotel. And today I want to talk about how some of us fill our emptinesses. Sometimes it could be positive, and sometimes we fill ourselves with negatives. So sit back, and I hope you enjoy the show. Afae is one of those women that when I first met her, the depth of her soul I felt on the tips of my toes. She has an amazing story and a journey that was back from childhood. I am so honored and pleased that she opened her soul and had a chat with me. Hi. Thank you for the water.
You're very welcome.
Jimmy Lee, the butler for the Azridge.
Yes.
Afae.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You know, when I first met you and heard your story, like I think energetically we kind of connected.
Yep.
But I think it was partially because of who we are as people.
Yep. And
you have an amazing story from your childhood.
I do, yeah. I'm the eldest of four.
The eldest of four kids.
Yeah, 4 kids. And I grew up in a home that was very abusive. My mother went through a lot, and I always felt like I needed to protect her.
So how old were you then, like when you first remember it?
Oh gosh, probably 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my next sibling came, and the babies kept coming, but yeah, it was a very unsafe feeling home. I was always on edge. I was always worried as a child, so I didn't feel like I had a childhood.
Right.
Right?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so my mother sat me down one day and told me that...
How old were you?
Oh, I was just about 10.
Just about 10, and you remember this?
Yep.
Okay.
It was probably a few months before I was turning 10. My birthday's in January. And so she sat me down one day and she said, one day, when your daddy is gone on his business trip, I will tell you that we have to leave, and we will leave with nothing but our clothes. And so, of course, being a child, waiting for the moment to leave, I could not wait because I used to pray at night that something would happen to him so that the abuse would stop. And so I didn't have to try and protect my mother or see her hurt or have the police at our doors all the time. And so the day came, and it was January 21st.
How long after from the conversation then?
I would say probably 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, so it was it felt like a long time.
Right.
And so she said, okay, remember I told you, we're gonna have to go. I need your help getting the kids, because I was 10. And so my brother, when one brother was 4.5, the other one was 3, and my sister was 8 months. No family in Canada, and nowhere to go. And my mother didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom. And so we left. It was in Edmonton. It was a freezing cold winter night. And she was just looking for the women's shelter, and it was quite far from where we lived. She had no idea where it was. This is back in the day when you didn't have your apps and Google Maps and all that kind of stuff, right? So it was just, let's find it. And women's shelters are hidden, like they're secret.
They're not marked.
Right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, we were driving, and I remember being absolutely terrified that he was gonna come home. We were gonna see him on the road, driving, something. So anyways, she didn't know where she was going. We pulled over about probably half an hour after driving, and pulled over to get to the payphone. And my mother had the number that had been given to her. So she called, and she said, I have no idea where you guys are. I don't know how to get there. And so they asked where she was, and she told them. And they said, sweetheart, you're right across the street. And so that was the beginning. Yeah, and so we stayed there for, oh, how long was it? Maybe a few weeks, because she just wanted to get on her feet and get going, right? And that's the start of the next journey, where there was safety, but it was terrifying. We didn't have anything. We had nothing.
And so to restart.
Yeah.
So you were 10.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward to now.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, you have children?
Yep. 14 and 16.
14 and 16,
Yeah.
but to have a child go through that and experience that, it must
Horrible.
have completely shaped your life, your views on life, your views on yourself, so much different than someone who is, you know, kind of the average life, right?
You know, it's absolutely true, because I think at that time, I just did. So I was there to help, I was there to protect my mom, I was there to be her friend. And then as I got older, I kind of had my rebellious stage later, because I didn't have time to do it when I was younger. So I didn't start my rebellious stage, and it wasn't horrible, but for me, it was rebellion. So about 19, 20, and because I was just kind of bitter, anger started. I felt ripped off.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
You got robbed.
I got robbed. I was angry. I wanted another childhood. Why didn't I get a better childhood?
Right.
Want a different life? Then all of a sudden, something changed in me, because I thought, well, you know, there's nothing that can be done. Learn from this, help others in a situation like this, and make your life great. What you imagined as a child when you were 8 years old, when you were 6 years old, imagining that beautiful family life, the security, the stability, a loving husband. And so I had to change my mind and go on a different path, and I had to stop pitying myself. And that's kind of how I led to being in this position now, with the two kids and
a family,
yeah,
and a husband.
and an awesome husband.
And how many years have you been married?
It will be 18 years.
18 years. You are such an inspiration.
Well, I don't know if I'm an inspiration, but
You
I have
are,
a story.
but you gotta think about it though. Like, really, if you look back on it now, with you as a child, it was almost like you were put into the right family to help your mom at the right time to be able to move forward. And how is your mom today?
My mom is fantastic today, and us 4 kids spoil the heck out of her, because she's earned it. And so, and she watches all the grandkids. We've got a great relationship with our mother. It's funny when you say your life, you were put for a reason, because I remember one day, I think my kids were probably, I don't know, 6 and 4 or 5 and 3, and I was driving, and all of a sudden I was overwhelmed with emotion, and I was thankful. For me, I was thankful to God for my experience, actually. That was the first time in my life I was actually thankful, because I thought, if I hadn't have been in that and so molded by that, I probably wouldn't be who I am today or where I am. It doesn't define you, but it definitely is part of you, right? And so you make good of it.
No matter what we're
No
given.
matter what. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, honey.
Thank you for having me.
Maureen McRae, or as Dr. Mo, I call her, is one of those women that has all the credentials in the world, but yet her energy and her love and her inspiration is just so contagious. I love my chats with her. Thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's interesting because I think a lot of us fill ourselves with certain substances or habits to fill an emptiness or a void inside us. So whether that's, you know, shopping, food, sex, all of those things, but there's an emptiness within inside us that we try to fill to make ourselves feel better. And realistically, that probably only backtracks us.
Well, ultimately, it's a self-defeating experience. We're not creating our lives when we're numbing ourselves to our possibilities.
Right. So do you think it would almost, the only word that comes to mind is powerless, because we're consumed by that energy, right?
Yes, very much so.
But we're not powerless.
No, not at all. And a lot of people, until they get to that point of realizing that they can actually change their lives, that they have the power to do it and no one else can do it for them.
That's true. So if we backtrack, what are some certain reasons why someone would have a void or an emptiness to be able to fill it? Is it from our family upbringings? Is it from, you know?
Sure, it can be patterns that you learn that are ingrained, which, you know, I think ultimately come back to self-love and, you know, where are we? Are we really in our heart? You know, are we listening to what our heart needs? Because our mind, our ego mind and our mind chatters and talks and has its own agenda. But really coming right back into the personal, really where we all need to be to create this beautiful world that we want to live in, is to be in our heart.
In our heart.
And so to sit and put your hand on your heart, and what is your heart saying? Listen to what your heart is saying.
Because that's just you.
That's the real self. That's really what we need to do, is to be in our heart and listen.
So we take off the head, the mind, and we just don't even listen to it? Can we ignore it?
Well, it's tricky. It takes some practice. Yeah.
But realistically, we're supposed to be living from
the
here,
heart. Yeah.
Right? Because this will only take you certain places that maybe you don't want to go, right?
But that's why a lot of people don't want to feel what's in their heart, because it's, you know, it's, the heart is all about feeling. It's not about thinking. And so if we've got a lot of pain from our past, you know, that we haven't had the ability to deal with or to process, it can be too much to look at in big chunks. But I think it's important to remember that when things are ready for release, that's when they come up.
So you can't force
So
it.
trust that it's coming up because it's ready to go.
Oh, so instead of beating yourself up over why, right? It's like, okay, well, it's here, it's brought to the surface. Let's just clear it and be grateful for it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So getting back to the heart, so how would one connect to their heart?
Well, it's hard because we want to think about it, right? We want to think, well, how do we do it? So
don't overthink.
Just put your hand on your heart and listen to the heart. The heart is a voice. The heart actually has more energy than any other part of our body. And so if you just feel it, it will talk to you. But it takes some time. Sometimes it's very far away in the distance. So you need some quiet time and need to sit and, you know, have some courage to listen to what it says, because it will talk to you. And then you can think about how you feel about things.
Feel about things, not think. I love it. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
Sometimes exercise can be very intimidating. I know I've experienced it. Whether you're in a class or you're going to the gym with all the mirrors and everything around you, you don't really know what to do or how to do it or when to breathe. It can be really intimidating, but the biggest thing is creating your own space that you feel comfortable. So whether that's your own gym downstairs in the basement, maybe it's outside, wherever it is, but to have that space where you feel comfortable is only going to allow you to succeed in your fitness goals. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Sean. How about you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here. Janine, you're the trainer for the Azridge.
I sure am. Yep.
And you're going to help me out with some exercises today, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I find most clients kind of struggle a little bit with? They don't really love, you know, the back of their arms, right?
Yep, absolutely. The extra little wave.
The extra little wave. But you know what? Working out on a bench, doing some tricep dips, I think is like the best exercise. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Do you want to demonstrate them for me?
For sure.
Okay. So give me the easy one first. Let's just start off easy. So knees bent, shoulders back, core nice and tight, and go. And you can just pump those out, can't you?
I can just pump them.
You can pump them out. So we want to increase the intensity. Bring your legs straight. Perfect. And coming all the way down, keeping, you're awesome. And then if we're going to increase it a little bit more as far as the intensity goes, can you give me a few pulses?
Pulses, sure.
Now are you feeling the burn?
It's burning.
It's burning. It's probably keeping you nice and warm though, right?
Yes.
Do you need water yet? Are you okay?
I'm ready for water.
You're ready for water?
Yes.
Okay. Can we get some water? Oh, thank you. Well, we're going to continue to work out here and drink our water. And why don't you guys take a look at this amazing success story from the Ticket to Change.
all the way back in 2012, 14, normal childhood, had played everything I could, baseball, hockey, volleyball, anything. And one day, a guy decided to trip me just for fun of it. And that day, just everything changed. He injured my ankle, and I didn't know exactly what it was. They had no clue what it was. They thought it was a high sprained ankle. They did 2 exploratory surgeries, and they found nothing. They found a little tiny mishap in the ultrasound, and they decided to go in and open me up bigger. And when they did, they found a completely torn ligament, a completely torn tendon, and they had to open my tendon sheath. Going through all of this, I was on pain meds. I went through a deep, deep depression that nobody ever, ever wants to go through. And I went through this by myself for about 3 years. And so going through this depression, I didn't want to do anything. I was suicidal. It felt like the end of the world because I had no dream. I didn't have anything. I didn't have parents. I had my dog and my aunt, and they were my family. And trying to open up to them was a little bit hard at first, and going to counselors and stuff I hated. And then my aunt decided to tell me to go to Sean. When she opened up to me, it kind of felt relief because I was like, oh, finally somebody that I can talk to about this. When I lost everything, I thought the world was over, and that's why I tried to kill myself. But then as I was growing, I learned that I'm here for a purpose. Whether I know it or not, I'm here for something. My angels are keeping me here for a reason. I'm planning on going to Australia and New Zealand for 6 months to not only find myself, but just to experience life. You just have to keep going. You have to find that somebody, if you need to, find that somebody to push you, because life is everything. Every life is important, and you're here for a reason, whether you know it or not.
So I am standing here in the beautiful kitchen of the Azridge Estate Hotel, and I want to talk to you about, yes, another one of my favorites, which is garlic. Garlic is so good for us in so many ways that we can use it. And today I'm going to share with you 3 different types of recipes for kind of snacks, maybe a lunch, and even a dinner. So the first recipe I have for you, and then we've all heard of hummus. We all know how great hummus is, but why not use it in a different way? So why not use lettuce wraps, use your hummus as a spread, and make it into like this really cool kind of colorful little lettuce boat, if you will, and add some peppers and some cucumbers and even some green onions. It's colorful, it's light, you could add some tuna in there, you could add some chicken for your protein, you could do really anything you wanted. I love that. I love hummus. Who doesn't love hummus? Next I have is guacamole. I think everyone loves guacamole, and with the avocados, it's such a healthy fat. Use it as a dip with some veggies, again, nice and bright. We have the orange and the green. Who doesn't like bright, colorful veggies? I know I do. And instead of tortilla chips, why not have like more of a little healthier snack? I love these crackers. These ones are Mary's crackers. You can get them at most grocery stores. and have a little snack with your guacamole. Again, lots of garlic. The third recipe I have is made with roasted garlic, and I love the smell of roasted garlic. But I made kind of a saute pasta dish with some sun-dried tomatoes, fresh basil, and then add some feta cheese on top of that. So yummy. You know what? I want to catch up with Tessa at the superstore to see exactly what garlic really does for our bodies. Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting me at the grocery store.
Absolutely.
So back at the Azurage, we made a whole bunch of garlic dishes. From hummus to guacamole to even roasted garlic.
Oh, so good. So good.
I love my roasted garlic.
Yeah, me too.
So is it true that it's easier to digest the roasted garlic as opposed to raw garlic?
Cooked garlic, yeah, as opposed to raw.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it can cause if you have digestive issues, it can upset it a bit. So just be careful. There's so many good ways to cook it, and especially this time of year, you want that immune boosting benefits of the cooked garlic.
So lots
Raw
of garlic?
too. Raw is awesome for immune boosting.
So you're saying put it in all of our dishes?
Do it, yes.
Do it?
I add it to soup, salads, my salad dressings, it's a must. Good
Did you
flavor.
put raw garlic then in your salad
I
dressing?
do,
Okay.
yeah,
But then I
yeah.
guess it's a smaller amount, so you don't react to it?
Well, not necessarily. Someone might.
Okay.
Just be careful. If you're finding that it's causing any digestive upsets, just try cooking it. If it's still, stay away from it. Just might be a sign your body's telling you.
And then is there certain types of garlic should we buy? Like, should we be buying the 3 like the sizes, or does it
I
really
like
matter?
this one
or
for roasting. This is great for roasting.
Okay.
And roasting's such a quick and easy way to get, a yummy way to get garlic into your diet, because it's just easy.
Yes.
Spread it on some seed crackers and oh, it's so good.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna grab maybe 4 so I can make some roasted
Stock up. Do it.
garlic tonight
Yeah.
for dinner.
So good.
Thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely, my
today.
pleasure.
John is a local entrepreneur and a big thinker. I knew when I first met him that there was more inside him that I wanted to learn about. So we sat down and had a few conversations. Sometimes our lives kind of lead us to places where we kind of have emptiness or emotional voids within inside us. Does that make sense? I think we all, being human, have had some experiences that we've all had to overcome. Was there anything that you had to overcome, or any tools or tricks, if you will, that helped you with that?
I mean, a lot of things and, challenges throughout life for sure. I mean, relationships with people. Some things, I unfortunately, I never did overcome, and then it was too late. Relationship with my father, and, my parents were divorced at a very early age, and those are regrets, and I don't want to have regrets in my life like that. So whenever I see that there's that potential to have that void, it's something that I focus on making sure that that doesn't happen in my life anymore.
So when we have those broken relationships, because there's a lot of people out there that do, that are segregated from their families, how can we fill that void in a healthy way, if that makes sense? So is it allowing other relationships to come in?
For sure.
Is it understanding that that person came into our lives for a reason, to teach us a certain characteristic about ourselves?
For sure. I mean, for me, it taught me that, friends and family aren't necessarily just by blood. I have an incredible family right here. And I think that's something important. Like, we have amazing friends that are family. And that's something that when you have that void, that's something that you fill with other incredible people.
By opening up your heart, even though sometimes it's scary to let people in, right?
For sure, absolutely.
Thank you for joining me on the Liv Daily show. Remember, it's not so much about what the void is, it's about how we're filling that void to make it into a positive, to enjoy the life that you're living. Tune in next time.